Right. It's this video I want to show you something. I want to derive the quadratic equation. Okay, so I'm going to derive it, which means I know that the quadratic equation is x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I'm going to start off with the equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is a quadratic equation, and this is the formula for solving the quadratic equation. So this is the formula for solving a quadratic equation. Now there are three main methods of solving quadratic equations. One is called the formula, and the formula uses that formula. Surprise, surprise. Second one is called completing the square. And the third one is called factorizing. So basically, I'm going to use completing the square. I'm going to use completing the square, okay, to derive the formula which we use, which is that formula there. Okay, so this is how we start. We say we're going to divide. Okay, so first of all, let's write this down. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, when you're completing the square, there should not be a number here. So we need to divide by a, by a, by a, by a. Here the a's cancel, so I left with x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals 0 over a number is 0, so equals 0. Okay, then to complete the square, we just write, instead of the x squared, we just write the x, and then we half the b over 2a, so plus b over 2a, because we have the b over a, and then we close the bracket, we square, then we subtract b over 2a squared, and then we drop the c over a from here. It comes down here, equals 0. Okay, so x plus b over 2a squared is equal to b over 2a squared, because I've moved it to this side, and I'm going to move the c over a to the other side as well, so this becomes a negative. So that's just minus c over a. Okay, then I can rewrite this again. Okay, over 2a squared equals, I'm going to simplify that, so it becomes b squared over 4a squared minus c over a, and then I will find the common denominator here, which is 4a squared, so that's b squared minus 4a squared divided by a is just 4a, it's going to be 4ac at the top. Okay, the other way you can do this part here, if you're not sure, you just write b squared over 4a squared. If you're not sure what I've done, just going to use a different approach here. So what you do is Remember, you multiply, if you've got two denominators, this one and that one, what you do is you multiply this A, you're going to multiply it here. So you multiply here and the top and bottom. And then the 4a squared, you multiply it here. 4a squared, not 4ac. And then 4a squared again. So in the end, you have ab squared over 4a cubed minus 4a squared c over 4a cubed. Now you can see that 4a cubed is common, and so is a. So a at the top is common. What if it's b squared minus 4ac? You can factorize that, and factorize. You don't need to factorize 4a cubed, it's just 4a cubed. But the a's are gonna cancel. So here we're gonna have 2, and this one cancels. So we have in the end b squared minus 4ac over 2a over 4a squared, which is the same as this here. Right, then we'll move on. X plus b over 2a squared equals 4, not 4, equals b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. So what we do is we find the square root of that to remove the squared, and then we do the same. Find the square root of this and find the square root of this. So 2 times half, that's going to simplify to a 1. So this just becomes x plus b over 2a, no longer squared, equals the square root of b squared minus 4ac. We can put a plus or minus once we found the square root. And then the square root of 4a cubed is 4a cubed, 4a squared rather, is the same as 2a times 2a. So the square root is 2a. If you put 2 under the square root, so we've got a 2a at the bottom here. So x equals, we're taking this b over 2a to this side becomes minus b over 2a plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a again. So now we've got a common denominator. We can just write it down. So we have minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. So by completing the square, we were able to derive the quadratic equation, and it's exactly the same as when we started off here. Okay, hope that makes sense. Just check how many pages I've got. Just the one. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in another video.